Epic, Clint Eastwood has had enough of liberal BS, nobody saw this coming. Hollywood screen legend Clint Eastwood sounded off on what he described as the scourge of political correctness in an impassioned speech this weekend at the Cannes Film Festival. While addressing a packed audience Sunday, the Oscar winner said his seminal crime drama Dirty Harry could not have been made in today's politically correct climate. A lot of people thought it was politically incorrect, Eastwood said of the 1971 film he starred in. That was at the beginning of the era that we're in now, where everybody thinks everyone's politically correct. We're killing ourselves by doing that, the 86-year-old star warned, declaring that we've lost our sense of humor. Of course, this wasn't the first time that Eastwood has warned of the dangers of political correctness. In an interview last August with Esquire, Eastwood said then-candidate Donald Trump's political success was due in part to his disregard for political correctness. He's onto something, because secretly everybody's getting tired of political correctness. Kissing up, the actor said, that's the kiss-ass generation we're in right now. We're really in a pussy generation. Everybody's walking on eggshells. He's said a lot of dumb things. So have all of them. Both sides, he added. But everybody, the press and everybody's going, oh, well, that's racist, and they're making a big to-do out of it. Just effing get over it. It's a sad time in history. While the filmmaker told festival-goers that he would return to acting someday, he did impart some filming wisdom on a crowd that featured A-listers and entertainment industry executives. If you have good luck with your instincts, you might as well trust them, he said. It's an emotional art form. It's not an intellectual art form at all. Eastwood was honored with several screenings of his films over the weekend. The filmmaker recently signed on to direct the 1517 to Paris, a film based on the thwarted ISIS-inspired terror attack in 2015 in which a gunman opened fire on a high-speed train traveling to Paris. Paris, this is huge. Trump just accomplished something no one ever has done before. It's getting to be a regular thing with this president. His first 4 months in office are starting to feel like William Shatner's voice-over monologue during the opening credits of Star Trek, boldly go where no man has gone before. Despite the U.S. mainstream media's obsession with James Comey and the non-existent Russia connection, the President of the United States is actually doing something. Trump is on a historic trip to and through the Middle East where he's not bowing down to anybody. Trump is meeting with the heads of over 20 Muslim states and gave a speech yesterday that pulled no punches when it comes to the U.S. and world, expecting those heads to take the point position when it comes to rooting out jihadists and extremism in their midst. Then he and First Lady Melania hopped aboard Air Force One and did something no one has ever done. U.S. President Donald Trump was said to have blazed a new trail between the Arab world and Israel Monday, with his plane believed to be the first to fly directly from Saudi Arabia to the Jewish state. Trump left Riyadh for Tel Aviv ahead of talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in hopes of seeking ways to achieve Israeli-Palestinian peace. A spokesperson for the Civil Aviation Authority of Israel told AFP he was not aware of any flight taking that course before. Israel has no diplomatic relations with Saudi Arabia despite informal ties on certain levels, particularly around shared concerns over Iran. Any links are diplomatically delicate, with the Arab world strong supporters of the Palestinian cause. Egypt and Jordan are the only two Arab countries to have signed peace deals with Israel. Israeli citizens, however, can travel to Saudi Arabia, and thousands of Muslims attend the annual Hajj pilgrimage there, flying with stopovers in neighboring countries. A plane carrying reporters accompanying Trump had to stop in Cyprus rather than fly directly. Former Aviation Authority head Avner Yarkoni told AFP that while Israel would see no problem in a direct flight from Saudi Arabia, there was no reason Trump's precedent would open the way for a new route between Israel and the Gulf region. My, how quickly the tide has turned. We've gone from Obama bowing down to Arab leaders, shipping them planes full of cash in the middle of the night, lecturing Americans on tolerance, all while giving Israel the cold shoulder, demanding her return to indefensible borders and routinely dissing Benjamin Netanyahu, to this president getting in the face of the Muslim world, using his military to take out terrorists and making it broadly known he has Israel's back. All in the span of just a few months. Imagine that. Israeli president secretly did one thing in his speech to piss off Obama. Did you see it? Throughout his presidency, Barack Hussein Obama did everything he did to drive a knife into the back of Israel, while at the same time empowering Muslim-dominated countries in the Middle East who continue to proclaim their hatred and intentions to wipe Israel off the face of the planet. President Trump's visit to Israel this week is absolutely imperative to repairing the damage that Obama did to our Israeli allies, who were treated so abominably throughout his tenure as president. But shortly after arriving in Israel, Obama got a well-deserved dose of karma slapped right across his face, after what the Israel president just did on the world stage that's making the former president absolutely livid. As for the rest of us, we're elated that Obama is finally getting smacked right where it hurts, as his ego is no doubt being shredded by what just went down in Israel this morning. Obama is no doubt having a hard time dealing with his legacy being unraveled by President Trump, as he's now devoted his 100% of his life as a civilian to taking down our new president with his shadow government and anti-Trump resistance movement that we continue to see popping up all over the United States. Part of Obama's legacy, as we all know, was to legitimize Palestinian terrorists, while demanding Israel give up their land and holy sites to these Palestinian terrorists. But after 8 years of Obama's Israel-hating antics, the former president is finally getting exactly what he deserves. Joining President Trump for a speech in Israel on Monday morning, Israeli President Reuven Rivlin wasted no time taking several incredible shots both Obama's ego and legacy within just the first 2 minutes. While his praise for President Trump was clear, what epic was the way that he delivered his praise, which was camouflaged in a giant FU to Barack Hussein Obama, as the Israeli president stated that he is happy that America is back. You mark the defeating of ISIS as one of your top missions. This is the most important objective. Israel will do everything in its power in order to assist you in this mission. He then took a direct shot at Obama, whose declared red line in the sand with Syria gassing their own people has always been a highlight of weakness of Obama's presidency. Israel appreciates America's leadership and your administration in the action you took in Syria, he said. There are red lines, as it happened in Syria, that must never be crossed. There is a price that must be paid by those who violate the most basic principles that make us human. Social media went wild over the Israeli president's comments, that no doubt have King Obama absolutely losing his $% hash this morning. It's refreshing to see that we aren't the only ones who see how detrimental Obama was to anyone not on board with his Muslim pandering agenda, as Israel clearly expressed on Monday how thankful they are that America is finally back and not being led by an Israel-hating traitor. But unfortunately for Obama, this is only half of what he's pissed over as more details continue to emerge from President Trump's visit to Israel. As Israel's land and holy sites continues to be up for dispute between Palestinian Muslims and the Jewish people, President Trump finally put an end to that today, with one single action he took at the West Wall while meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a solemn act of solidarity, President Trump donned a yarmulke, and prayed at the West Wall along with other Jewish leaders, in a historic move that has never been done by a sitting president in our country's history. The diplomatic nod not only bolstered Israel's claims to the holy site, but sent the silent message to Muslims around the world that this area belongs to the Jews, and to keep their grubby hands off of it. It's so awesome to finally have a president leading America who has the backs of the Israeli people, who have suffered so much at the hands of not only Palestinian terrorists who continue to demand their land, but at the hands of our former president who did everything in his power to strip away their rights to their land by backing the Security Council resolution that turned over the old city to Palestinian groups. Now Obama can stick his treason and disdain for the people of Israel straight up where the sun doesn't shine, as just like the Israeli president so eloquently put it with saying, "America is back. Back, it's a miracle." The Israeli First Lady gives special gift to Melania Trump. Melania received a warm welcome by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah. Something amazing just happened to Melania, that proves how much these people love and respect her. After 8 bad years, Israel has had with Obama, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli people were all happy when Trump's family arrived. The Israeli First Lady Sarah Netanyahu just gave a special gift to Melania, and the whole thing can be seen in the video below. Here is what Sarah Netanyahu said to Melania: "I talk every place about her, how great she is. And how great you are. I can testify to that. Because a majority of the people in Israel, unlike the media, they love us. So we tell them how you are great, so they love you. We have very much in common. We'll talk about it over dinner." The liberal media is attacking Trump constantly, but we the people love and support them. Share this post if you are proud of Melania Trump. What do you think about this? Comment below.